How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. A lot has been happening this year and I've been having a difficult time keeping up with the weekly updates. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to skip 10 through 12 training week for the Elysian Field Strongman competition. I was here in Wichita Falls, Texas, hosted by Mike Bettelino of Chrono Strength. Shout out. And let's just say I had the worst training cycle build up that I've ever had. A lot of difficulties, a lot of just not good situations. But I guess things kind of came out in my favor at the competition day. But I'm going to go ahead and let you watch that. But essentially what happened is I had to make it was initially an 8-pound cut. I started water loading and salt loading, which got my weight up to about 213 pounds midway through the week. And that's when I started to actually make the cut itself. I ended up cutting down to 200 pounds on my scale. So like when I left my house for the competition, I had actually measured in at 199.9 pounds. Got to the competition. The organizer scale is about 7 pounds. 0.7 pounds, not 7 pounds. 0.7 pounds off of my scale, not in my favor, so I proceeded to throw on a couple hoodies and go for a 3-mile run before the competition. But I'll let you watch the competition footage here, and I'll see you at the end of the video. Alright, so this is competition day, and it all started here with the log, last man standing. We ran this all weight classes all the way up. This is my final warm-up, so you could tell the judge if it was a warm-up, but basically you got 3 attempts, I think. I can't remember. So that was 180, and I took on my actual first attempt. We'll go ahead and call that an attempt at 200. This is 200 right here. Guy in the red hoodie is the homeboy that won the last competition, but has a little bit of an injury. So yeah, 200, went up pretty easy, came back down. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of that log. Sorry, Mike, I don't like your log. So this is 220 right here. 220 actually ground out pretty hard for me. It was all 20-pound jumps. There was no calling your attempts. Basically, it was just 20-pound jumps, last man standing. So 220, grounded up. And then 240 was the next weight. All the heavy weights were hitting it pretty easily, but at this point, most of the 200s were actually out. So 240, and I've gotten 250 in training, so this kind of, I don't know, frustrated me a little bit. But hit the tires, attempt was over. So my top was 220, which tied me for first in that event. Tied me first, that attractive gentleman in the nice camouflage hat standing to the right. Next is farmers. This is 190 pounds per hand, question mark. So 190, 50 feet down, 50 feet back. Had a little bit of a stumble there. In training, I'd always swung pretty wide and then cut the cone pretty tight. And at the very end, I realized I just wasn't moving like I needed to, so I just took off. I committed to falling straight on my face. So then I went to the sandbag throw. Now, I had a ton of practice because I'm pretty sure that's my sandbag I'm throwing. I loaned it out to the guy. There's Brad. I loaned it out to the guy running the competition. And so I had tons of practice, felt really good, made my first attempt at like 10 feet. This is my second attempt at 12. At this point, some of the 200s were out of the sandbag throw, and it's for height. So you see me taking my time throwing. But yeah, so this is my final attempt. So the guy who got second place in this event had thrown at 13 feet. I went up to 14 because we got to call our heights. Only got 3 attempts. So this is a 40-pound bag to 14 feet. And he shoots, he scores. Again, my coach actually got a little frustrated at me with that first attempt. He's like, why did you just waste your time? And I don't know. Next, we had Conan's wheel. This is my first time ever touching this implement. And I have an incredible love-hate relationship with it. So the implement itself weighs about 300 plus 200 pounds. The way that this competition worked is you see the little tick marks every 90 degrees. You got to make it to the next quarter revolution. Every 90 degrees you scored, we'll call it a point. The gentleman who got second in this event got 2 1/4 revolutions, and to be perfectly honest, when I got to my second revolution and I got to what was the quarter mark, I thought that was only the 2 mark, and so I thought I had to go 1 more to tie him. And what had actually happened is, this is them pointing at the 2 1/4, not realizing that was the 2 1/4, and I just tied him. I went for what I thought was the 2 1/4 and ended up winning the event. Actually pretty tough. I was holding it on my wrist for a good 3/4 of that revolution, which if you've never done a Conan's wheel with all the weight right on your wrist, it's pretty treacherous. Next up was car deadlift, plus 400 pounds. So this is one of those weird things. I'm an odd person, and I don't know how to strap on a car deadlift. Every other competition I've done where there's a car deadlift, if I strap in, I just pull slack out of the straps and never actually get the handles coming up. And so what I did for this is I had my straps on, but they're not actually wrapped on the implement. They're just there, and you can actually hear my coach earlier. He's like, "You gonna strap in?" I was like, "No, they're just there in case of emergency." But I ended up pulling, I think, 8 reps, which is only 3rd for the event. But I didn't need any more. And I'm kind of judging myself a little bit hard for not going a little bit more. I feel like I should have, but I guess the smart move is basically to take your win. That's Brad Dome's guy who got 2nd place. Awesome competitor. Then we move into Anarchy Week. All right, so after competition, oftentimes you might notice that your coach doesn't program you for anything. Well, I respond by going into Anarchy Week, which is basically, let's try to smoke a bunch of PRs and have a ton of fun in the gym. So this is bench press, and this is a PR attempt at 285. And he shoots, he scores. So 285 went up pretty well. I got yelled at by my coach that evening for being a total just dummy when it comes to how I set PRs. And so I was like, all right, cool. Well, I guess I'll take his advice and try to set another PR the next day. After all, it is Anarchy Week. All right, so I warmed up. I promise. So, and this isn't a PR. This is 405. So this was supposed to be my second to last warm-up attempt. And 405 for a single. And 405 for a single should be relatively easy, but, really grounded out. Helicoptered at the bottom. Wasn't feeling very good, like my shirt says. So I was like, you know what? I'm kind of pissed, and I really want this PR. And it's only a 5-pound PR. I mean, that's not even that selfish. So I was like, I'm just gonna go for it. We're just gonna do it. So this is 430, 425 being my current PR. And I think I mentally screwed myself out of this. I bet you I could have ground this out, but I'm a weak-minded quitter, so that's what you get. So then the next day, I was like, you know what? I'm sick of setting PRs. I keep on missing them. So I'm going to go ahead and just have some fun. My father-in-law made me these jack stands that look very similar to the Bartos stands. But yeah, these were a gift that he made for me. So I was like, well, I haven't used these in a while, so let's pull them out. So I grabbed the axle. I have a double overhand. I just have a max axle attempt in my next competition. So I was like, well, let's just have some fun with it. And just started pulling. So you're looking at, oh gosh. That was 415, and then I went up to 455. No, this is 415. So 415 pounds, and just kind of having fun, like not really doing much. And the beautiful part about it is, so my mid-thoracic, you'll watch, so I set my lower back, and I have a beautiful set, and then I just totally screw it up. But that's way better than what it used to be. And then we got 455 right here, and I just wanted to do it. So 455, it's not even a record for me. It's just fun. My daughter was running around outside, so I wasn't even really concentrating too much on the lift itself. I was just having fun. That's what Anarchy Week's all about. It's about setting records, pissing off your coach, and having fun. So 455 went for a nice double, which you're about to see here. Someone's probably talking to me. The whole intent of me keeping that whole part was to show you that my straps are ridiculously long, and I get made fun of for them. But I don't like figure 8 straps. I just don't like the idea. Being that kind of gentleman that has passed out lifting, I just don't like the idea of me being literally stuck to an implement. So I moved on to some Viking press. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to set this up. On that safety arm that the bar comes back down on, there's actually a J-cup that you can't really see too well. But that keeps the bar from going any further across. And this was, I guess, PRing. These are PRs because I don't do it that often. But like I said, it's all about having fun. It's Anarchy Week. I have a garage gym. Can literally do whatever I want. So then I was like, you know what? My coach never programs chains. I'm going to do some chains. So I went ahead, and you're looking at just the last 2 sets, but I got a box squat for my birthday, sort of. You'll see a review on that pretty soon as I have some use on it. So I was like, all right, cool. So let's squat down to a box with chains with the SSB. Like, there's no more variations than that, right? So I essentially grabbed all my chains. The only chains you see hanging up on the wall are apparently I had an odd number of chains. Never knew it, and because I don't get to train chains too often. This is literally the first time in my life that I've had chains organized on the wall. And in the final day of Anarchy Week, Strongman Saturday, and I just happen to work at a super awesome place that has a dead sled, which I will soon own one of these things. I promise you people, the dead sled is pretty awesome. So you'll see I was using fat grip all the way up to this weight, and the weight you're looking at right here should be, if I'm counting correctly, 450. So I carried all the way from 150 to 430 on the fat handles, and to be honest, I think I just kind of quit on that 450, but I just wanted to get these done and over with, because here in North Texas we got tornadoes and stuff, and yeah, what you can't see is the super ominous clouds that are rolling in. So there's 470, here's 490, and again, it's Anarchy Week. Just have some fun. Love the dead sled, awesome piece of equipment. As it turns out, huge pain in the butt to push across the road that I live on, just because of the textures on the feet and the textures on the road. And I have a max axle clean and press, and I haven't touched the axle for a continental clean in a long time. Like, my first competition was the last time it ever happened. And so I just decided to, and I actually wrote in the book before I started, keeping it super light, literally just working on that hand flip. Because I've done it a couple times and it felt ugly because I hadn't trained it. And so I ended up working on like 170, I think. And again, just keeping it light, having fun. Pure anarchy. Grab my Bartos I-beam, put the cable up on the wall. So I'm weighing in every day at about 202, 203, which is crazy that I lost 5 pounds, like, consistently. And so I'm here like trying to pull this 200-pound weight stack, but I only weigh 200 pounds, so I have to like crawl up my power rack. But it's okay, because it's Anarchy Week and it's all about having fun. So I'm going to go ahead and kick it back to the outro. Alright, so that's it. First place finish. This is my super awesome trophy, made by guy in Dallas, Music Metalworks, Alan Music, M-U-S-I-C-K, if you're in the Dallas area, or just North Texas, Dallas. Texas is pretty big, figure it out. If you're near Dallas, you need something made, ask Alan. I have an Atlas stone loading table, but it's a different video. Yeah, first place, not bad for an absolute crap training week. I like to think that I just kind of brought it on competition day, but like every single strongman competition, it's not always a matter of who's actually stronger. It's about who had the best day. The gentleman that came in second place, I will straight up admit, is stronger than me in almost every single way. I think I just had a better day. It must have been that 3-mile run. Well, anyways, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I look forward to the next training cycle. So my next competition on the horizon is Oklahoma's Strongest Man. So be sure to tune in for the training cycle updates for that. I'm not sure if I'm going to do every week or every other week with like a 2-week summary, but the only way you're going to find out is if you tune in next week. And until then, I will go train hard. That was a super cheesy sign off.